News.
Before I go, I just want to say to the fans, thank you for the love. Thank you for being there by my side, my extended family. Thank you for having faith in me.
Kartel.
Fully active. Remember that. Roll out the Benz, my G. I mean, the wife there. Hey.
On oaths, because ultimately that the prison food would never be offered to dogs. Johnston said that he traveled with a newspaper from one prison to another. The facility is where you eat, sleep, pass your number one, pass your number two, and while you're eating it, stay there till a morning, till when rounds are being made. And that is according to them. Vybz Kartel.
How are you feeling?
The feeling of just being free is an amazing feeling. Lisa, it's so surreal. I have to pinch myself just to see that I'm awake.
At times, his case had looked hopeless, but no matter how harsh the prison conditions, he never gave up. Neither did his attorney, Isaac Buchanan, who waged fierce and focused legal battles, eventually convincing the highest courts in Jamaica and the UK to throw out the verdict and order his release.
Hard work and dedication, we believed in ourselves, and we had help inside and outside, especially you, Lisa. You pushed the case to the world.
On July 31st, while many were glued to the Jamaica Court of Appeal live feeds, Kartel says he was on the phone talking with Saddam.
She was like, babe, I'm on my way to get you. And then when the verdict was read, she's like, baby, you're free.
Kartel tells me he wrote hundreds of songs while in prison. Less than 24 hours after he got out, his new 12-track mixtape, called First Week Out, was released.
We have albums worth of songs. So a lot of writing about the situation, not about the situation, like a plethora of lyrics.
For now, the focus is on reconnecting with family members and recovering from the health problems that put his life on the line.
Before I go, I just want to say to the fans, thank you for the love. Thank you for being there by my side, my extended family. Thank you for having faith in me.
Kartel tells me he's looking forward to regular medical care to reverse the Graves' disease he suffers from, which causes some physical disfiguration, and strengthen his heart. In prison, his personal physician could only visit him once every 3 months. His goal now is to regain his health and be back on stage before...
I just want to say to the fans, thank you for the love. Thank you for being there by my side, my extended family. Thank you for having faith in me.
Kartel tells me he's looking forward to regular medical care to reverse the Graves' disease he suffers from, which causes some physical disfiguration, and strengthen his heart. In prison, his personal physician could only visit him once every 3 months. His goal now is to regain his health and be back on stage before the end of the year. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News.
Before I go, I just want to say to the fans, thank you for the love. Thank you for being there by my side, my extended family. Thank you for having faith in me.
Kartel tells me he's looking forward to regular medical care to reverse the Graves' disease he suffers from.
But what I thingy, they are drive with my son. But I am a drive. Fully active. Remember that. Roll out the Benz, my G. I mean, the wife there. Hey. I mean, fully Gaza. Freedom Street, remember God is the greatest. We out, no?
On this written interview, well, it seems as if that the system wanted to award Vybz Kartel for his crime with the penalty of death, or the dropping penalty, call it what you will. We will now get into the main stories, alright? So pay attention to the screen as we now read through the cleanup. Dancehall artist feared, and that is the headline. Kartel feared death in prison. Dancehall star bemoaned hellish, filthy conditions amid failing health while incarcerated. That is the headline, right? Now, amid the rapidly deteriorating state of his heart and the filthy, inhumane condition in which he was held for over a decade, Vybz Kartel was fearful that he would die in prison, according to court documents. Now, the entertainer has been told by his doctor that his heart was now functioning at 37% of its capacity, a 20% decline from last year. Now, he disclosed in an affidavit in his just concluded case before the court. Now, this has caused me to be scared and unsure of my own existence, he says. Listen carefully. This is in the words of the entertainer, people, right? Not mine, when I say everything on the screen. The first interview, Glena get it, it's a written interview, and these are the words of the entertainer. Listen, he says that this caused me to be scared and unsure of my own existence, he said. Now, he detailed too how he was confined to a prison cell with a lot of rats, bed bugs, and roaches that plagued him while he slept, and now he had to relieve himself in a bottle or a single-use plastic bag, widely known as a scandal bag. Listen what he's saying. Listen what he says that they give him to relieve himself. And when I say relieve himself, it means a number 2 and a number 1. Right? You know what that means. Right? Is when you go shot something. You know what I mean? Whatever. He says that he relieved himself of a number 1 in a plastic bottle and took a number 2 in a scandal bag. Those are his words. Now, he continues to say that it is my fervent hope that I will not die within the precincts of the prison, and that I will be afforded an opportunity to get medical intervention that is needed to save my life, said Kartel, whose real name is Adija Palmer. Now, the last 10 years is sick, worse than hell, and any order for a retrial is an extension of my life in hell. Now, the affidavit was filed in the Court of Appeal as part of the hearing to determine whether Kartel and the 3 former co-accused, Sean Storm, Campbell, Kyra Jones, and Andre St. John, should face a second murder trial for the dropping of Clive Lizard Williams in August 2011. Now, the men, with the exception of Jones, who remains incarcerated on an unrelated firearm conviction, walked out of the high-security Tower Street at the Adult Correctional Center on last Wednesday, right, to the throngs of jubilant supporters, hours after the panel of 3 Court of Appeal judges ruled that they should not be retried for Williams' alleged dropping. Now, at the end of their trial in 2014, the men were found guilty of dropping by an 11-member jury and each sentenced to life in prison, with the stipulation that they serve between 25 to 35 years before being eligible for parole. 6 years later, the conviction and the sentence were affirmed by the Court of Appeal, Jamaica's second highest court. But in March this year, the UK-based Privy Council Judicial Committee, Jamaica's highest court, quashed the convictions and sent the case back for the Court of Appeal to decide whether they should face a retrial. The JCPC noted in its decision that it had a considerable sympathy for the dilemma faced by the presiding judge in the 2014 trial, after it was disclosed to him that a matter of jury attempted to bribe other jury members on the panel, but it said that allowing the tainted juror to continue in the case was a fatal mistake. Now, Kartel had been in custody since September 30, 2011, when the police arrested him at a hotel in St. James, and his affidavit provides a glimpse of life behind bars for the entertainer, also known as World Boss. He says that he was stripped of his dignity. Everything when I read, when I see what I want for myself. This is the first interview, written interview, and at the Glena get it, virtual TV go no. So like and share the video, my people, alright? Support the movement, to make sure we are doing everything. Now, he complained, listen, he says he complained that during his entire incarceration, he was stripped of his dignity by prison authorities, who placed him in a cell that had no bathroom facility, poor ventilation, and poor lighting. I had to urinate in a bottle. I had to pass my stool in a scandal bag. and this contributed greatly to the deterioration of my health, Kartel said, citing the medical opinion from his doctor. Now, the cell is literally an oven, and each day I felt like I was being burnt alive. The smell of sewage never goes away, and there is never a day that I do not feel ill in addition to my medical issue. Remember, these are the words of the entertainer, and this is a live interview right now. The entertainer says that he was placed in a cell with a toilet in June last year when he was transferred to solitary confinement. Now the words of Sean Storm. Sean Storm complained in his affidavit filed through his attorney that he too was forced to do the same thing, scandal bag and buckle, which is thrown just outside of my cell until the rounds are done and it can be removed. Now I am provided with a bottle and a scandal bag, so basically I literally eat the same place I do those things, he says. Now according to him, his diet consisted of, listen, this is what they said that they were given to eat, and this is in the words of Vybz Kartel and Sean Storm, so this is breaking news. He says that their diet was vanilla flavored Lasco, oats, because I cannot stomach the food that they serve here. Now, the food that is served here, I would not feed it to dogs. Now, though he had a mattress he received at Horizon Adult Remand Center in 2015, Sean Storm said that he slept on newspaper spread on the floor. Now, it traveled with me where I am at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center and has not been changed, clean or treated, despite the fact that it has bugs that we Jamaicans call chink, he noted. Now, according to Kartel, his time in solitary confinement, right, he says that it has placed him in a fragile state. Now, this is in the words of the entertainer. I am left with my thoughts, and every day I am faced with the fact of my morality and the fear that I might end up dead in prison, having never had the opportunity to hold my grandchildren and my children and watch them continue to grow, he said, disclosing that he has 7 children and 2 youth. I've missed 13 years of their lives. That is the first ever interview, and this is all brought to you by The Gleaner and brought to you, of course, by Bag and Buckle, is what they said that they were given. Their diet consisted of vanilla, Lasco, and oats, because ultimately that the prison food would never be offered to dogs. Sean Storm said that he traveled with a newspaper from one prison to another. The facility is where you eat, sleep, pass your number 1, pass your number 2, and while you're eating it, stay there till the morning, till when rounds are being made. And that is according to them. Vybz Kartel says that he was in fear of his own existence, because this he thought that was the end of him, and he would never see the light of day ever again. So, my people, like and share the video. We have more to come. Don't go away. Stay tuned and tell me what are your thoughts on this, in this matter. My grandmother always tell me